Powered by Riverside FM.
Powered by Riverside.
Welcome to another episode of Unconventional Playbook, the UP. It's a gloomy Friday outside. I hope that's not a precursor to what's to come today, tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but we'll get into that. Just a gloomy day in the great state of Wisconsin. I got another segment that I want to add to the show. We always talk about there may be times where we run shows that we call detours and talk about things outside of sports. I've been getting a lot of suggestions from UP Nation, which I really appreciate. Some of the topics are really interesting. I guess I'll share some of those in future episodes. You're going to produce, you're going to pick the show. We're going to talk about it. So I'm really excited for those shows. But today we're going to talk about a show that I'm going to entitle Don't Be Dumb, Bruh. Don't be dumb. And there's just a lot of just crazy things going on in sports right now that, in my opinion, just are really stupid. Like, I hate to come off every episode as this angry guy. I'm not an angry guy, but I love discussing sport topics. And for the majority of these individuals that are making decisions within the sports realm, I mean, these people are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Like your pay scale, I was taught by one of my mentors growing up as a little kid that your value will depend on where you are in the hierarchy of the world. Like, I know there are some people that are really upset with the salaries that pro players make. Oh, there are teachers out there, there are doctors out there, they should be making that kind of money. Well, you look at any industry that's out there and put the title on whatever job or career it is, and put the title on being one of the best in the world, and see what the salary is. So, for example, if you were a teacher, and I bring teachers up because there's a lot of complaints about the salary of teachers, and I am on board with teachers being paid more. I am, because they are unsung heroes. The stuff that they have to deal with in schools, the stuff that they have to deal with in classrooms. I've done the job, so I know. But everybody likes to throw out those type of occupations. But what if you were the best in the world? Like, there are levels to teaching. My wife is a professor. She used to be a teacher. So now, in terms of education and teaching, she's at a little bit of a higher level, more so than high school, middle school, elementary school teacher. You are paid according to where you are in the hierarchy, because you have shown that you have the knowledge and the skill to be able to perform at that level. So you're compensated as such. You guys kind of get what I'm saying? So when you talk about these sports organizations, there are people within the organization that makes millions of dollars. When you look at basketball, hockey, football, these are the best athletes in the world. Nobody can touch them. Do you know how hard it is to break into the NBA? You've got to be one of the best in the world. That's how come they're compensated as much. Football, same deal. Best in the world. Best in the world. Even the third string quarterback on most NFL teams had stellar college careers. Best in the world. And it's still the best in the world. Here's my point. There are people that are paid handsomely to make decisions. And we're going to talk about some of these decisions today. I'm going to start off with my hometown team. As you guys know, I've mentioned several times, I'm from Cleveland. They decided to move on from JB Bickerstaff. Now, listen, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but whatever's going on behind the scenes, let me be the first to say I'm not surprised. When it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Browns, they're a train wreck. They always have some sort of drama going on. And that's been since I was a little kid growing up in Cleveland to now. So to hear some of the reports about the Cleveland Cavaliers and what's going on in Cleveland and people not wanting to play with certain people and people are upset, Donovan Mitchell wanting to move on and people don't like JB Bickerstaff as a coach, I'm not surprised. The organization always has drama. And before the Cleveland contingent gets upset with me, you know I'm true. There's always been drama. Always. But who do the Cleveland Cavaliers think they are? Firing JB Bickerstaff. Like, who's the Cavaliers? You've done nothing without LeBron. The outlier, the unicorn that came into your organization, you haven't made a good decision outside of LeBron being on the team in forever. Who do you think you are? You just fired a coach that you put into place when the team was going through a rough time, and he got the team through that rough time and got them into a pretty decent situation. They're not winning championships, but show me a coach outside of Ty Lue and the LeBron era that did anything with the Cleveland Cavaliers in terms of championships. I've got time. Who do the Cleveland Cavaliers think they are? People talk about Ty Lue being a good coach. And that was the LeBron effect. I don't understand what people see in Ty Lue that catapults him as being this great coach. What has he done outside of LeBron? Where are the Clippers? Clippers have a pretty stacked roster. Where are the Clippers right now? They're in the Western Conference Finals? Ty Lue? What are you going to do? Just jump around from team to team until you hit on something? See, these narratives, man, are crazy. Who do the Cleveland Cavaliers think they are by firing JB Bickerstaff? You're coming up. Don't be dumb. Bruh, don't be dumb. You're coming off like you're this highfalutin organization and that you're a place of destination for a good coach. Remember John Beilein from Michigan? Had a great job in Michigan and decided to come to Seatown, the hub of all of sports curses. They signed him to a multi-year contract and then fired him afterwards because he just got wore down by the organization and the players. And then they brought in JB Bickerstaff, who coached with the Grizzlies, to come in and clean it up. And essentially, he came in and cleaned it up. He was 170 and 159 in the regular season in 4 years with the Cleveland Cavaliers. 143 and 103 mark over the last 3 seasons. He had the number 4 seed in the East this year, won a first round playoff series. That's as good as it gets in Cleveland. That's as good as without LeBron. That's as good as it gets in Cleveland. Look at the resume. Look at the history of the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. Without a unicorn like LeBron, what more do you want? Don't be dumb, bruh. Don't be dumb. You just got rid of a good coach. And from what I am hearing, a lot of it stems from players' frustration with JB Bickerstaff, more specifically Donovan Mitchell. Cleveland Cavaliers organization, I'm going to tell you right now, be careful who you hitch your wagon to. Be careful who you hitch your wagon to. Is Donovan Mitchell like that? Is Donovan Mitchell like that you are about to bring in a new coach to appease him to stay in Cleveland? Is he that dude? Have you seen, is he the total package? Missed the playoffs, second round against the Boston Celtics with an injury. Same with Jared Allen. Missed pretty much the majority of the playoffs with a rib injury. Be careful who you hit your wagon to, man. JB Bickerstaff had Cleveland in a position that most coaches that have coached in the Cleveland Cavaliers organization very rarely got to. Cleveland, let me let you in on a little secret. You're not the Los Angeles Lakers as an organization. You're not. I wish you were. I root for you. You've given me lots of heartbreak over the years, except for when LeBron was there. You're not the Boston Celtics. Who do you think you are? Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. We've talked various times about Caitlin Clark, and we're not going to make this a Caitlin Clark show, but I thought I ought to circle back because the Indiana Fever are 0-5 right now. Caitlin Clark, I wouldn't necessarily say she's struggling, but I think it's safe to say that she hasn't lived up in the first 5 games to a lot of the hype of what people thought she would come in right away and do. Now, some of the analysts of the WNBA will say, well, we didn't expect Caitlin Clark to come in and dominate right away. We told you this is what it was going to look like. She's going up against, grown women, this and that. Absolutely correct. But she's not going up against just grown women. Now, keep in mind, and again, this is not making any excuses for Caitlin Clark. I'm not making any excuses for Caitlin Clark because I don't have to make any excuses for Caitlin Clark because she's going to be great. But as I suspected, she's going to go through some stuff this season. First of all, entering the WNBA is not like entering the NBA. Think about this. Her college, everything that she's known for the past 4 years, ended in March. And she's playing on a new team, new environment, new state, new city, new teammates in the span of a couple of months. She's got to learn her new coaching staff, her new teammates in a couple of months. I mean, once your college season ends on the women's side and you have the ability to go to the WNBA, it's like it's fast forward. It's fast forward into a whole new world. And this is what's happening with Caitlin Clark. And not only is it fast forward to a new team, new organization, new coach, new surroundings, it's the weight of being arguably one of the best to ever do it. That's a big weight. It's huge weight. It's huge weight. She is expected to carry an organization, and she just got there. Aaliyah Boston's not going to do it. Like, I haven't seen any signs of that. Aaliyah Boston is a great player, but she's not going to be the one to carry that organization. She's going to be a piece to the puzzle. Again, great player, but she's going to be a piece. She's not going to be that piece if you ever watch Aaliyah Boston play. So Caitlin Clark has that weight. Not only does she have the weight of her team to bring her team, who hasn't been relevant in the last couple of years, to bring them out of the mud and get them to be relevant, she's got the weight of the league. Have you seen the arenas that have been sold out because of Caitlin Clark? Oh my God. It's unbelievable. She's selling out everywhere she goes. They're changing venues to accommodate the crowds for WNBA games because of Caitlin Clark. Have you guys been researching this stuff? Research this stuff. The numbers are staggering. She's restructuring the way WNBA teams are traveling now. You got the whole charter controversy, but essentially every team now is going to be able to charter flights to their games, where it wasn't that way before. The reason why I bring all this stuff up, man, is why does anybody in that league, why are they jealous and hate on Caitlin Clark? And I'm not going to make this gender specific, but I'm going to make the statement that if you are a female athlete, former athlete, female reporter, somebody that covers the WNBA, you shouldn't have anything negative to say. Don't be dumb, bruh. Don't be dumb. And the reason why I say that is, if you're involved in the WNBA's industry in any way, communications, reporting, coaching, event staff, front office people, your league has been on life support for years. The WNBA loses money with the WNBA being on their books every single year. Research it. So why wouldn't you want Caitlin Clark around? She is just enhancing everything that you've been doing for the last couple of years. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. Some of the great players, there are tons of great players in the league. One of my favorite players is Diana Taurasi. Great player. Oh my gosh. Sue Bird, great players. Deladon, great player. But as great as you are, you've had your chance to carry the league. And your shoulders haven't been big enough to carry the league. You've had your opportunity. You came out highly touted in college. Diana Taurasi is no joke. When she came out of college, there was a lot of fanfare. You could argue she's one of the best to ever do it. With all that being said, she couldn't bring the league out of the gutter. So why would you try to hinder somebody that wants to bring this league out of the gutter? That's dumb. She's only going to help your sport. She's selling out arenas. You can't get over your jealousy and wanting to be like Caitlin Clark, and you're in your feelings because you feel like you're being disrespected because you put all this work in and you expect all the accolades because you've been great, you've been good too. That's not how the world works. Welcome to the club. There's a lot of people that work 9 to 5s out there that feel like they're not appreciated like they should be at their jobs. That's the way, grow up. That's the way the world is. Welcome to the club. But now you got this dynamic superstar that for some reason everybody wants to see. And she's putting your league for the first time since the inaugural season, because I think everybody was curious about what the WNBA would look like their first season. And since their first season, they've condensed the number of teams in the league. Now they're talking about, with Caitlin Clark entering, now they're talking about expanding, having expansion franchises to make the league bigger again. Because there are a lot of, because the WNBA by itself couldn't hold the weight. They were losing money like a sieve. And so they had to condense the league to the number of teams that they have now. Now there's conversations about extension franchises. That's directly correlated with Caitlin Clark. You're cutting right now great players in the league. Do you still want to continue that? If Caitlin Clark doesn't play and goes and sits down somewhere, all you reporters, players in the WNBA that has negativity coming out of their mouth about Caitlin Clark, that enjoy seeing her struggle a little bit, shame on you. Because if that young lady decided not to play and just went into her life in the private sector, got a regular job, got married to her boyfriend, your league would still be on the downward trend. Because the resume shows there hasn't been one player, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, United States, international, there hasn't been one player that has been able to pull that thing out of the gutter. That's fact. We keep it real here on the UP. That's not a speculation statement. There's been a body of work since the WNBA came into existence to now, with some great players, Hall of Fame players. Some of these players are crying and talking about Caitlin Clark like a dog. You weren't good enough to pull this thing out of the gutter. That's fact. And now you got something to say to a young lady that's only going to help your sport. See, I know when you get into the deep crevices of it, I know why you hate her. I shouldn't say hate. Hate's a strong word. But I know why you're hating on her. I know why you're jealous. And I know why you love seeing her struggle and don't want to see her succeed. But I won't get into that on this show. That's a deeper thing that we have to get into with that. But why would you want to hinder this basketball asteroid that's coming to your organization? It's just flat out stupid. The people that have bad and negative things and don't want to see Caitlin Clark succeed, you are just stupid. And I'm not talking about fans that want to see their team do well against Caitlin Clark. That's just fandom. Like, that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. But there are actually people that want to see her fail. That want to see her fail. And that's just dumb for the league. Don't be dumb. If she doesn't play, this league doesn't have a shot. I'm telling you that right now. You better hope that she doesn't decide to have kids or she has a horrific injury. You better hope she can play, or this league doesn't have a shot. Touch a little bit on Kirk Cousins. I know he's gone from the Vikings. I won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but I look back over Kirk Cousins' career. I just saw a stat. And, man, he's made a lot of money. I was watching the Brett Favre documentary on Rich and Shameless, and they talked about Brett Favre made over $100 million through his career as an NFL football player. And I looked at that and I said, my gosh, Kirk Cousins just signed a contract for all the money that Brett Favre made in terms of getting paid by his team in the NFL in this new contract. Now, we're not even talking about the Vikings contract. And then my question becomes, this is why this is a don't be dumb, bro. What do people keep saying in Kirk Cousins? You got to realize he is the definition of mediocre. He's the definition of mediocre, man. If you truly, truly watch what he did in Washington, what he did at Minnesota, what do you hang your hat on? What is his biggest moment? What is Kirk Cousins' biggest moment as a quarterback? He's absolutely mediocre. And what's fascinating about this is that he's coming off an Achilles injury. There's a lot of people that don't come back from Achilles. And I heard him in an interview say, well, I'm a pocket passer, so this is going to be, easier for me to come back from this Achilles. Well, now that people know that you got it, and if you know anything about Achilles, once you pop one, you're more susceptible to pop the other one. You're going to see blitzes all day long. Don't think when you come back to US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis to play the Minnesota Vikings, that B-Flow won't have a plethora of blitz packages for Mr. Kirk Cousins. What are people seeing the guy? What are people seeing? Like, he's really buttoned up. He's a good dude for all intents and purposes. Good teammate. But to pay him this extravagant amount of money, all these teams paying him this extravagant amount of money to be mediocre is just dumb. I don't get it, man. I don't get it with Kirk Cousins. It's just dumb. Don't be dumb, bro. Don't be dumb. Now they're stuck. The Atlanta Falcons are stuck with this guy for the most part. I know there are some out clauses down the road, but at least they're stuck with him for 2 years. They were enamored with him because he was really the only thing on the market that was a little bit better than mediocre, but not much. It was either him or Baker Mayfield. That's who everybody wanted. Baker signed back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and here's Kirk Cousins. And then they went to the combine and they saw something that just lit their eyes up, and they said, oh my gosh, we need that. Michael Penix Jr. And I told everybody, Michael Penix Jr. was second on my board behind Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, best quarterback in the draft. Michael Penix second. Period, end of story. And you're going to see it play out that way. Caleb Williams may have been the first pick. Okay. Drake May was up there too. Who knows about J.J. McCarthy? But when the smoke clears, circle back to this and see where Jaden Daniels is and see where Michael Penix is. Michael Penix is going to play for the Atlanta Falcons sooner than later. Because once the Atlanta Falcons fan base get a taste of Kirk Cousins and some of the decisions he makes during games, you think the most popular person on the football team is a really good backup quarterback. That Kirk Cousins is dead man walking in Atlanta, and he doesn't even know it. But he's going to get paid handsomely for it. Like, if I'm him, of course he wants to play, but you're going to be compensated. Because Michael Penix is coming, and everybody feels like they need to pay you, the ultimate mediocre quarterback, hundreds of millions of dollars. So I say it again. Atlanta Falcons, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb, bro. Don't be dumb. A lot of different topics. I just wanted to vent a little bit. It's always funny to see different perspectives when it comes to certain sport topics. Like, I don't get what the Cleveland Cavaliers are trying to do. The Cavaliers are trying to run themselves like they are this blue blood of an NBA franchise, and they can do better than JB Bickerstaff. Okay, we're going to see how that works out, because Cleveland, I've been watching you ever since I could walk. I lived in that city, and you've done nothing outside of LeBron to put together any sort of resume to be anything other than mediocre. All the Caitlin Clark haters out there, you're dumb if you don't want the young lady to succeed, because you can't hold the weight of that league. She can. It's her only shot. And then Atlanta Falcons, you're in bed with Kirk Cousins now. We'll see how that turns out, because Michael Penix is coming, and you're going to have to pay guaranteed $100 million to Kirk Cousins, and it's going to strap your organization. Guaranteed. It's always fun coming to talk to the you peers out there, the unconventional playbooks. Hit that like and subscribe button. This thing is, we're almost to 3,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? 3,000. And it hasn't even been a month that we've been on this thing. So we're going to keep cranking out good content that you want to hear. Again, we may take some detours at times. You may tune in and say, why is Lionel talking about that? A little detour, freshen it up a little bit. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe button. Keep this thing growing. This has been Unconventional Playbook. I will see you when I see you.
Powered by Riverside.